Great. Are there questions from the audience? There we go.
I'm going to have a fair amount of hubris because I've represented the Screen Actors Guild for 20 years in my previous career. So I'm going to make some suggestions about what's going to happen based on the collective bargaining agreements that were just completed, which is that the branded entertainment, there'll be some concern about branded entertainment, but I think that'll be driven by audience. The video that gets put into and using advertising to monetize is the only thing that was really limited by the collective bargaining agreement with Screen Actors Guild. So there'll be an issue about using clips to advertise. On the other hand, there will be the ability to do viral stuff and all of that to promote online. And I think that you all will be stuck with some of the developing payment models that as video becomes more important and a higher quality, you'll be stuck with professional performers, and there will be costs associated with that I would recommend to you that you anticipate in your models for cost and so on.
Is there a question that you want to ask the panel?
Well, I do want to ask about, I've heard over and over again that there was, that branded entertainment is a big deal, and I guess I heard that again here. Is there no concern about what happens to the audience when they go, I'm here to watch video, I don't want to get sold the whole time?
I think it's got to be done well, is the bottom answer. But, the audience is only going to put up with so much. So if it's blatant, it's going to be rejected. So I think that's the real learning curve that's going to happen. There's a lot of experimentation happening this year with brands. There's a lot of production houses putting all sorts, trying different things. And hopefully in the next 6 to 12 months, they're going to figure it out, what's acceptable and what's not.
And the cost and the financial models are similar to CPMs for that stuff?
Typically, it's a sponsorship in a lot of those cases.
Yeah. The other thing that you can do, on our end, because clickable video is user initiated, so the viewers decided to click and receive that information, and we highly encourage our content partners and licensees to utilize the tool to expand the story of the video, to use it as a narrative device, and we can provide sponsorship models that go with that. So as they're consuming fun facts, trivia, information on the characters, the hosts, the storyline, and then have CPG or financial or automotive ones that that aren't necessarily selling online that can be involved in the sponsorship of that content. So I think that if you utilize our system and the clickable video systems in the appropriate way, you can actually downgrade some of the in-your-face product placement and branded integration that's happening, because it can happen interwoven through the clicks, which are now then user initiated. So you establish that relationship with the viewer, and they understand that they're getting something out of the clicking, whether it's being information about a product or whether it's exciting fun facts and trivia and narrative, and then it's a win-win for everybody, and I think that's where we really need to go.
Great. Is there another question from the audience? Yes, in the blue, and then I'll get back. Oh, okay, you're both wearing blue. Sorry. How about the blue behind, and then we'll go for the black jacket. Yes.
The Lord asked about small-time publishers. Everybody kind of chuckled, and I was wondering, sort of, given what the internet is, which is supposed to be the frontier for people to be able to kind of establish themselves and create things, other than the sponsorship model, are advertisers not taking enough risk with small-time publishers? And if you have very specific premium niche content, how do you become successful in a video space?
So I think ultimately it goes back to eyeballs, and you leverage the places where people are already watching a lot of content, as opposed to trying to build your own site and build your own brand at the same time. So YouTube is a great way. You can also use Twitter to kind of start creating your own audience. iJustine has over 1 million attentive viewers on a daily basis following every single thing that she does. And I think you can do something interesting around your content and then get to a point where you can actually monetize it. But it's going to be very difficult for you to monetize it as a content owner from day one.
Yes. Great. And then you.
The same example was great to see what Overlay is doing with iJustine.
Yeah, so we've done something with iJustine, which was allowing fans. It was kind of a fun little thing that she did on her site that really allowed. It was a product endorsement. So she basically shot 15 and 30-second. I love the product. I hate the product. It's okay, and basically put her hand like this. And we allowed people to basically grab any product with our overlay technology, drop it in, and then run kind of a banner ad underneath it. And it got a huge uptake and lots of views, which is kind of fun. But it kind of built her brand, and that was an interesting way for her to engage with her community and build her eyeballs, because that was, we allowed people to syndicate or share that content on Facebook and MySpace and their blogs and tweet it and right across.
For anyone doing
Go ahead.
smaller content sites, my recommendation is start with the advertiser in mind and then build the content, but don't just try to build it and hope they'll come. The only way to get there is the iJustine model, where you're measured by the ton, and that's very challenging to do because you're competing with everyone else who's trying to do it too.
Okay, we'll get that last question, and then it's just about 5 o'clock, so we'll have just time for everybody to answer.
I guess I just want to go back to the discussion about the power of targeting and being able to bring advertisers into online spend based on the power of targeting on the metadata for video content. I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts about sort of there's a conflict there in terms of advertisers not currently looking to, they can't necessarily advertise on really granular concepts or names in scale in online video. And so there's going to be a difference in taxonomy that advertisers care about and the content creators care about. And so what do you think is going to be a way to sort of reconcile that? Because at the moment you've got a lot of brands that they're going to want to advertise based on content or a really broad set of stuff. And they can't, there's not enough, despite the wonderful growth of online video, it's still not quite there to actually make distributed scalable buys on these sort of smaller bits of content distributors and metadata.
Yeah, I think what we've seen on our side is I think that's definitely true. If someone wanted to target very specific keywords, let's say, I've got advertiser with 2 keywords, right? And those are very exotic keywords, so you probably wouldn't have enough inventory. A couple of ways that we kind of solve that is, one is to basically say, depending on what kind of advertisers you are, most of the time you're interested in ultimately reaching the end audience, right? A lot of times people target by video or by content because they have no way of determining who the end audience is, so they target by content, by proxy, right? So one of the ways that we enable that is behavioral targeting, so psychographic mapping. The other way, to specifically to your point, which is let's say someone targets sports, and we don't see a whole lot of sports in metadata or audio, right? But we do see a video just with the keyword simplistically, LeBron James. Proper noun. Our system is smart enough to be able to determine that LeBron James is associated with sports, with the NBA, with Cleveland Cavaliers, and we'll be able to then serve the ad in there. So that dramatically, both that and the behavioral piece dramatically actually expands the targetability in the pool.
Yeah, and for us, we can target based on obviously object, which is granular, but we can bucket those objects, of course, into larger, categories: consumer electronics, audio devices, men's apparel, sports apparel, that kind of thing, right? So we can lift it up a little bit. So what we try to find that you can get down and you can, target specific objects, or we can bucket them because we have categorized and tagged all of them.
Perfect. I think we're out of time. I see people back there, the person who's running it, waving at us, then she just left. So let's, so I think we need to wrap up, but let's give a big hand for our panelists, and thank you for coming.